Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pule.
And I am Muslindo.
And if you're here for the first time, would like to welcome you to Khosi Nation Fan TV. And if you're wondering what this channel is about, well, this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs Football Club. We start the conversation here and it continues down on the comment section below. So do make sure to leave a comment letting us know what you think of what we say. We also have a question of the day that we will ask later on during the video. And to the returning subscribers, shout out to you.
Guys, yeah.
And a special shout out today goes to Mholi Luda. Boo, boo, boo.
Wow.
Celebrate, guys. You are important to us, and we want you to know that you are appreciated for watching and for commenting. So if you're a regular watcher here, if there's such a word, we'll always be giving shout outs to a new person each day. We post videos every day, so there's more for you and there's more shout outs for you. Something fell, sorry. anyway, today it wasn't a busy day like in terms of Indaba, but we do have something to talk about, starting with this Uliam Dinok. The cock. Why did I say knock?
I don't know.
Uliam Dinok
You said it again, sir.
Tenok again.
Yes.
Wow. Anyway, he is currently playing for Stellenbosch DStv Disky Challenge. He's 20 years old and he's a left-footed centre back. Before we started the video, actually Muslindo was asking the question, so yenzani elinye defender uqhubeke? You think we have enough defenders?
I don't think we have enough, but given that there are people who are clearly baggage,
Yeah.
We're wasting time. We're just adding more people on our bench, honestly. We're leaving people at home with our logo on their shirts, for me personally, because uzofika angadlali kulodlala somatho badlise. It's cool with the same thing, next video and the next video, and it's just like, what was the point? Like, what was the point for me?
But here's the thing, with Chiefs, mina Kona Ungezana is right-footed, Kona Udube is left-footed. Actually bengifuna ukugcina ngaye, and then uKwinika hayibona kusenkhohla ukuthi uKwinika is left-footed or right-footed yeheni. And then but most of our defenders, I think 2 are right-footed and the other 2 uKwinika is also left-footed. So 2 of them are left-footed and 2 are right-footed, but Angimbali Mato, because I don't think he's gonna play.
You don't know this team.
I'm not, but it's what I trust him. But what I'm trying to say is, I think we do need cover.
We do need cover. I agree with you.
Yeah,
fully agree with you.
But
that's all it ends up being. It just ends up being cover and never really playing, never really seeing full potential for me. And that it's so frustrating. Like, if you know me, I'm pro ukudlala kwey'ntwana. Like, I want the new guys being the ones heading up the teams, because Lila, we strike, Mato, let go free baller, it's over. Like it's over. Just know. It's done. Yeah. So I'm pro the young guys coming in, playing football the way they play football, because from what I've seen, even as the people I've seen play soccer or played soccer with, people like transitioning. Like, you'll have someone who's playing in the midfield, you know what, hey, need competition in the midfield, move. And then they're great, but they've also got all that pace that they inherited from playing in midfield or playing on the wing. So now he's got pace. He can defend, he can pass, he's got composure. That's a complete defender. So for me, I'm always pro those things, but I don't see him playing.
Because I think another thing, because he's young and uzobe fika kwi-Chiefs. Another question that I have is, which can be another question, which will be the second question of the day, is, do you think it's good for South African football? Nani, do you guys think it's good for South African football? This thing you would see, I was looking, Chiefs has 6 players right now who were playing for Swallows last season. we signed 3, Udube, Uhlanti, Ngob last season, and this season we signed 3 more. And now we've signed 2 players from Stellenbosch, Inu Dupree and as well Ukwinik. And now there is the striker who's training with Chiefs, and now there's this kid who could end up at Chiefs. Like, do you think that is a healthy thing? In one season, we'll sign 4 players from one team, and then in the following season, like, how does that make South African football look? Do you think that's good for our football and pride? I don't know.
I think one thing we suffer from is limited options, especially for budget, because you get a team like Sundowns who can just go out tomorrow, buy wherever they want, and life goes on. So we're limited for options, because any transfer window, you're expecting Sundowns to scoop up all the best, and then they watch as you guys fight for the scraps. And they just watch. Exactly like Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, they go to Dortmund, take, Zikale. Next season, the best, take, Zikale.
That's my point, though. That's my point, because we Bayern, they've gone so far with this to a point where Leipzig was good. They took their defender and their coach. Like, who does that? Who does that to Guti? If you have competition, because I feel like it limits a competition, we will end up being called a Sundowns Farmers League or whatever, because everything that happens has to end up going to Chiefs and Pirates. There is pride in a team. No, we're tired of selling to Chiefs, Pirates, and Sundowns. Personally, I don't like it. I don't like it because I still want that thing. There is Cape Town. Cape Town. Like how it happened when there were still Ajax and Santos. I was scared every time we had to play Santos or Ajax, because those teams was in Nazareth. So I don't like it for that sake. As for the player, I still think he's young enough to say I will take 1 year of being a squad rotation player, and then maybe in 2 years' time, but because of the fact that he's from Stellenbosch, it doesn't sit well with me. Uguti, shouldn't the Chiefs, there's a possibility Uguti could field 4 of the new signings from Stellenbosch and 6 of the signings from Swallows.
It's sad to see, honestly. Like, it really is, because what I feel like it does is it also cripples the smaller teams. Like, then they never get to compete. Because if any rising star, but also it's a thing that doesn't just stem from teams taking players, but the players also want to go to these teams which they see as bigger. So they really have no honor towards the teams that have put them on the platform. They're more interested in, Chiefs.
I'm sorted for life.
I'm sorted for life.
Yeah.
Because they know you're getting a nice fat salary there, Chiefs.
True.
You've got everything you can possibly want, and all you've got to do is perform in your last season. That's what they always do. That's perform in your last season. You've got a 5-year contract. In that 5th year, you perform like nobody's business, renewal, back to just Ubusmozel and being just another player on our payroll. So it happens. It is just life.
Yeah. And the other player that I'm honestly tired of talking about, I am. Let me just show you guys. Mmodi. So he reports, I think I was reading this kickoff, they're saying the Glamour Boys have been, this is apparently from a source inside Kaizer Chiefs, who's saying that the Glamour Boys have been in discussion with Golden Arrows over the players' services, because the KwaZulu-Natal outfit want to sell the Bafana International to avoid him leaving for a free a year from now. First of all, what I don't like is the reasoning behind that. They wanna
cash in
because he's leaving next year, not because like the offer from Chiefs they can't. It's like now what I feel like is happening here with Mmodi. I feel like Chiefs heard Uguti Arrows are selling, and then they thought we can capitalize on the fact that they are selling and get a lower price. Yeah. But Arrows knows how valuable Mmodi is and how good of a player he is. And because of that, apparently Chiefs are no longer like interested. And this deal is going on and on and on. It's lokuzizwa ngayo. Ubekwe thumbnail, I know. Yeah, ubekwe thumbnail. But what do you think about this thing going on and on, Dabaga Mmodi? Do you think we even need a midfielder right now? Another midfielder?
Like I said, we need options. I think I said this yesterday. I like options. But anything that's going to be so much of a hassle, just let it go. Because you wait a year, then he's free, and then you pick him up. It is that simple. You wait a year, he's free, then pick him up. But I think also what they're doing is they're delaying it. So the more they can delay, when it's close to the window, okay, we'll offer you X amount now. And then now they're like, that's so much money. You can have him.
Because once January comes, then we sign a pre-contract for June next season.
You see, so they've sort of playing with us in a sense, and we're playing back, which is playing right into their hand. If we just kept quiet, let it be, okay, and decide that, okay, sure.
By the way,
take a back seat.
By the way, this is interesting. I was watching, I think, ESPN like a few weeks ago, and they were talking about Guti, who are these sources within the teams? And I found out Guti, they are actually like PR teams and or whatever. There are people who are just assigned to throw it out there. Guti Chiefs is no longer interested, or whoever. Like, in a way, these things are not leaked by mistake. It's an intentional leak.
Yes.
Guti Chiefs are no longer interested. In a way, it's a subliminal way of communicating with Arrows. By the way, you're challenging us.
Next year,
yeah.
So, it's true. It happens even in businesses, so you can see it. Just leak a bit of information and you control the narrative of, okay, if I can make sure there's a bit of fear with, hey, these guys are no longer interested. Maybe I can expect a call with, okay, we'll accept that price you last gave us, kind of thing. If that call never comes, then next tactic, maybe I say, we're looking to sign a different midfielder now. And then,
for example,
you expect a call. If you don't get a call, leave them both. When you never really wanted that other guy.
Yeah, you used him to actually,
sign the guy you actually want.
Yeah, in football, there are a lot of things that happen. Speaking of which, school meaning or ends, guys. So, Mindendorp was being interviewed by eKickoff, and the question of the day will come from this thing actually. So, he's saying, I was really talking to the management just to release some players and just to find on loan moments for some players to open positions. Now, basically, Mindendorp here, I read just part of the interview. Uguti, he's basically saying that at Chiefs, the reason why he lost the title on the last 30 minutes of the league in 1920 season, it's because he did not have enough options. So he says he asked the management to release some players, and among those players he counted Uspelele Nchanga, Seutum Sanzuma, no Park. So he counted those three players, but they still had contracts, and among misunderstanding, but he did say that he wanted some players to be released so that he can bring in some new players. But then the question of the day, it comes from this. It's actually in a two-way. One is Chiefs have finally released just 12 players, which is good. And the first question is, what has changed, Fel? What has made Chiefs all of a sudden realize, let's release 12 players? There was a strike, but do you think there is more to it? Do you think maybe it's Kaizer Chiefs Jr. or whatever happened? I do not know. And secondly, do you think 1920 season was down to the fact that we did not have good enough players? And do you think, the second question especially, do you think that title, where we're 13 points ahead at some point, and then we ended up losing it on the last game, do you think it was because he didn't have players?
I don't. Because if that's the argument he's going to use, then how did we get to the top in the first place? We shouldn't have even got to the top to begin with. If the players aren't good enough, how do we create a gap between us and everybody else in the first place?
Against Sundowns.
It doesn't make sense. That to me just sounds like diverting blame, honestly. Like, if the players were that bad,
sure.
It should have been... But that's not how it happened. It all came down to the last couple of games where it was a train wreck. Train wreck. I remember that game, I was so heartbroken watching it on my laptop outside. Bright going in the background. All my friends are there. And then we lose.
But Baroka, that definitely felt like... Because I thought Sialita 1-0 and then there was that corner. 1-1. How was Sapakus? That Sundowns is busy scoring. And if we had scored one goal, win the match, it wouldn't have mattered how many goals Sundowns were scored. Because we drew. Like...
I was so heartbroken. How do you lose a title that you were leading so comfortably? I almost had the same thing happen to me this past season with Man City. I almost had a heart attack. I'm like, this feels like my past traumas are coming back to haunt me again.
But the thing is, Jacob yesterday, Jacob Moremi, shout out again. Ubekuluma about this thing. So, for instance, City was playing against Villa, and then Villa scored 2 goals. I didn't know what to do with myself because Liverpool were supposed to score a goal and put pressure. Because, anyway, long story short, City was losing 2-0, and they still came back and scored 3 goals, and the match was 3-2. That shows character of the players. I hated that moment because... So they came and they scored 3 goals. That's character of the players.
Yeah.
And
our... also. Mings, we are boss. Mings, yeah, sorry.
So, but the thing is, the Chiefs failed to do that. We are 1-1. Isco is 1-1 against Baroka. Baroka also fighting for their lives because they're fighting to be safe from relegation. But we're fighting for a title and we just casually passing the ball backwards. And the coach, why did we still have all the defenders that we had in that game against Baroka? So it can't be down to the players who are not just good enough. The blame, I give it to the players who were there, did not show character. But the coach as well, because there were many decisions that he made or did not make that made us or put us in that position.
I feel like those last few games where things just started spiraling out of control, that should have been the rise of some of the key players that were there. Like, we have experienced players, Buffett. Sure. We're not willy-nilly here. It's an opportunity to make something of yourself, make some history, take a medal home, all that seems not to matter. I was watching that game, like, we aren't hungry. And that's our first problem. We really aren't hungry for this win. It's just, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay. So when I'm hungry, that's how I felt about the game.
Yeah.
Like, no one's hungry here. The coach doesn't look hungry. The players don't look hungry. How are we supposed to win this thing?
Yeah. And another thing, Guti, that we talked about yesterday as well is the fact that as much as apparently I thought it was the coach's decisions to bench Malulek, but apparently it was from the top. The decision came from the top to bench Malulek. Now I get that, but I'm saying all of the other players all the time, and it wasn't down like with all the matches were bad because of Maluleka. It was just that chance that Nukovic missed and Panswe I cannot get for the life of me how you missed that chance.
This excuse, Maluleka also, I hear that's also a bit of an excuse, because if he'd been injured, we would have been in the same predicament. We don't want to play. So what are we saying? If he's injured, the team falls apart. Is that what we're saying about Kaizer Chiefs?
Because another thing is like you just have to play for the badge and remember who you are and be arrogant enough to say ngesdlwe baroka.
Finished.
There is a difference very between like arrogance, too much ego, but sometimes you have to be proud. Let me just use the word proud and then know who you are. Which I am a Kaizer Chiefs player, and we will crush these guys. And that's what you do if you're big teams. That's what City did at Metaloko, but that's what they did against Villa. They were about to lose the league, and then they scored 3 goals in 5 minutes. Chiefs couldn't score 1 goal in 30 minutes that they had to finish off the league. So Middendorp can make the mistake, the excuses, as many excuses as he wants, but at the end of the day, it was also down to him. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and go leave your comments on the comment section. What do you think? Do you think it was down to Malulega? Do you think it was down to the squad depth not being good enough? Do you think it was down to, I don't know, COVID because we had a break? I don't know, because there are teams like Liverpool, Chiefs, who really outdo themselves when the fans are present, and you remove the fans, then teams get exposed. But still, you still need to see character in teams besides the point. But let us know what you think down in the comment section below. We will see you tomorrow, and until such time, remember, Khosi. I'll tell you more foot.
It goes away.